In Sanskrit, there is a term Sakshi Bhava. Now, Sakshi Bhava means witness consciousness. Now, in the modern day, a lot of teachers talk a lot about the witness state of consciousness and about how to abide in this witness state of consciousness. This knowledge is very, very old and goes back to the classics within Sanatana Dharma. And you have Sakshi Bhava, this witness state of consciousness, which we could say is related to pure awareness and in some sense related to the Atman, the undifferentiated state of consciousness, because your awareness is not entangled with your ego and your thoughts and your feelings that are usually encased within your identity. So you have this ability to abide in that witness consciousness, Sakshi Bhava. Now, a powerful story to explain Sakshi Bhava is to do with Sri Ramana Maharshi. Now, around 1947, Ramana Maharshi's health began failing him. And a year later, a nodule was found in his forearm. And his disciples saw this grow over time and reached out to a surgeon in Chennai to examine and diagnose what this nodule is in Ramana's forearm. Now, knowing Bhagavan probably didn't like all the fuss and just wanted to go with how nature presents itself and how the process of life was for him in that physical form. But, his disciples cared a lot about him and wanted to reach out to a surgeon. So a surgeon came from Chennai and diagnosed it as osteosarcoma, which is a painful form of bone cancer. Now, who knows how long Bhagavan was living with this. So after his diagnosis, when he went in for surgery, the surgeon said to him, "We will need to make you unconscious with anesthesia." And Bhagavan said, "That's really not necessary. Please do the needful and there is no need for anesthesia." And then obviously the doctor and the nurses and that were shocked about this, but what to do? So before surgery, the doctor instructed his anesthetist to be on standby because once they begin surgery, the feeling was that Bhagavan was going to start screaming and be in extreme pain. But to the shock of everyone within the operating theatre, no injection was needed. And the operation was flawless and was as though Bhagavan was under some sort of spell, according to the doctors and the nurses in the room. Because through the whole surgery, Bhagavan remained calm and he was completely present and didn't flinch, didn't scream, and the surgery went by without a hitch. Now, the doctor was absolutely astounded by this, and he asked Bhagavan after the surgery, how did he remain calm and not start screaming and be in extreme pain? And then Bhagavan said to the doctor that just as the nurses and attendants were watching, I was witnessing the surgery. So this is an extreme case and a powerful example of how Sakshi Bhava can benefit our life. Unbelievably, Bhagavan didn't need any anesthesia and he went through the whole operation without screaming, without being in pain, and he abided in witness consciousness, Sakshi Bhava. Now, you may say, but that's easier for an enlightened sage like Sri Ramana Maharshi, because after 16, he had a permanent state of abidance in enlightenment, in the Atman, in the undifferentiated state of consciousness. So it was a lot easier for someone like him to abide in Sakshi Bhava in such a painful event. But that's motivation for us to continue on the path, to continue to abide in our true undifferentiated state of consciousness, which connects us all as one, as opposed to dwelling in our ego, in the differentiated state of identity that only causes all the trouble in the world. So there is an intrinsic power when we abide in the Atman. And in abiding in the Atman, we are remaining in that Sakshi Bhava state, in that witness consciousness that can see everything as a moving phenomenon on the screen of consciousness, of the one consciousness. It's not something that belongs to us, but it's something that is just happening within this eternal becoming. Now, that again is easier said than done, but that is the work for all of us who are sincere on the spiritual path. And that should be the motivation for us moving forward. And that's really what Sakshi Bhava is. Sakshi Bhava is that ability to abide in that witness consciousness and to see the world in its one true state where your mind is not identified with anything. And that's what this story really says to us. Now, in the end of the story, obviously, Sri Ramana Maharshi loses his battle with cancer, but the way that Bhagavan dealt with the cancer all through the process was quite breathtaking and quite amazing, where he never complained about the cancer, where he just had an unwavering abidance in Sakshi Bhava, where no doubt the body was in pain, but he didn't identify with the pain itself. And that's something for all of us to focus on, especially for those of us sincere about spirituality and bringing our mind back into the non-dual state of reality, the way the world truly is in its one pure state of consciousness. And the way to align with that is Sakshi Bhava. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.